Welcome back, everybody, to Rob's MetalWorks. We are here at the Rock Box for one hell of a kick-ass show. We have to come out and support the man, Max Cavalera, and his band, Soulfly. And, of course, the boys are here, too. We have Igor and Zion Cavalera of Lody. Gentlemen, welcome to the show. Finally glad to have you on.
Awesome. Thanks for having us. We're ready to talk, let people know what's going on, and, answer any questions you have for us.
Good to see you, Zion.
Yeah, thanks. Likewise, my man. Glad to be here.
And I know you're pulling double duty.
Yeah, man. Not my first time, so.
Okay.
Yeah, it's fun.
Guys, I definitely want to start at the beginning, because I think people are still coming on to learn about Lody Kong, and obviously, fans of Soulfly and Sepultura kind of have seen you guys grow up over the years, and on the videos, seen that you guys have always kind of been part of this metal lifestyle as far as a touring band and family. When did you guys really come to grips with that you too also wanted to pursue music as a career and a lifestyle?
Pretty young, honestly. We both kind of dabbled with instruments as a kid. Obviously, just having them around all the time and being on the road with our folks, we just got exposed to it. So we did a lot of just kind of messing around at first. We were still in school and we were still little kids, so you can't take it too seriously yet, but I'd say once I was about 15 and he was like 16, 17, we started wanting to make a full band and write original music and take all the steps to forming it. It's not just something you kind of wake up one morning and do. You have to take the steps and you have to write the music, find the guys to do it, get the gear, you know what I mean? And I'd say, once we were teenagers, we were pretty dead set on it. We wanted to tour and play shows, hit the road, make albums, the whole nine,
And you guys, are really kind of like a special team of brothers, because you guys understand, and your mom obviously knows the business and the do's and don'ts of being a successful band in the music industry. And as sons of Max and nephews to Igor, obviously, these guys are well respected in the music, in the history of metal music. Did you ever kind of feel like, oh God, we have to live up to a certain standard because we are the children, the next generation of the Cavalera music family?
Yeah, I definitely felt a lot of pressure, especially at first. Like, I got thrown into playing with Soulfly at like a pretty young age, or I had only been drumming for like a year or two, so I definitely wasn't anywhere as good as I am now. So I definitely was young, and I'd read the comments and all that. Just, it honestly was fuel to the fire. So if anybody ever said anything shitty about me, honestly, thank you, because it helped me get to where I am now. And if you guys got anything to say, bring it on.
Last time I interviewed your dad, he told me that when you joined Soulfly, he said Zion never plays the songs the same way. He plays them almost different every night.
Yeah.
Is that true?
Yeah. That's just it's something that keeps me interested in. I just like to explore with different fills, and I like to just kind of improv stuff live in the set every night. It's what keeps it live and fun for me. And sometimes it throws off the other members, but sometimes they're doing the same and we click and we create something that we never knew we could do, or it's just more fun like that.
Musically, you guys are definitely pretty damn heavy. Igor, talk a little bit about what kind of vibe did you want to create with Lody Kong musically. What were you striving for?
Starting out, it was very, very kind of punk rock. Not complex, really, very simplistic and raw. With, I don't know, I guess from my point of view, kind of Melvin's Sonic Youth, noisy side to it as well. And over the years, it's just evolved a little bit. The punk side has kind of slackened, and we've given way to more sludgy, slower stuff, which I personally like. I like bands like Sleep and Neurosis and stuff like that. So there's still some of those fast elements, but nowadays it's more powerful and slow and kind of kind of dragging you through the mud a little bit,
Yeah.
you know. But we're kind of all over the place. One thing we do not like to do is write songs that sound the same. You know, we do not want to be a cookie cutter band. You know what I mean? We want to like push the barriers and like break the molds and basically aspire to create new songs every time we write. You know, never replicate, you know, stuff.
I gotta send you some music. There's this kick-ass band in San Antonio called Cursus. I'm gonna send you some of their stuff.
Cool.
Yeah, you know about them?
No, I don't. I'll check it out though for
Yeah,
sure.
check
I'm
it
always, looking for new stuff to
Yeah.
kill my ears with.
So you guys, I know you guys initially kind of did an EP, then kind of came out with the first kind of real debut for the band called Dreams and Visions. For some of you people out there who don't yet have it, go ahead and take a good look at it. It came out on March in spring of 2016 on the Mascot label group. Tell us a little bit about the first release for the band. Were you happy the way that it came out?
Yeah, I was really happy. We worked with John Gray, who's a local producer in Phoenix. He's a close friend, so that was important for us, finding somebody that was like we could, you know, like vibe with in the studio. Like I've had multiple times in the studio where it's kind of awkward with the producer, so
Yeah.
that was one thing that was important. And you know, we knew we were gonna sound a little different than, you know, most people probably that like go into the studio and record. So we wanted somebody like that, and honestly, it went great. The thing is we were a little backed up. Some of those songs were a little older, so we, you know, we kind of feel like we've been playing those for so long. Like we were like 16, 17, 18 when we wrote some of those, and now it's like, you know, over 5 years later. So, you know, I'm much more excited about the next album. The first one was kind of like one, like we gotta put this out there. The next one's like, all right, now like we got something, we can kind of experiment a little with this one and, you know, take it to a new level where we went with the first one.
Yeah, it's been you know, almost a couple of years now since that record dropped, and so let's go ahead and talk about what next steps are. Igor, you were telling me 2018 is going to be a pivotal year for the band.
Yeah, definitely. I was telling you earlier, we've just gone through mild reformation of the band. We're 3-piece now, with me playing bass and singing, and our new guitar player Travis from the band Noisem, who's actually on tour with us right now. You know, we all clicked together, but it still took about a year to get tight and learn the old songs. And you know, once we were kind of dialed in together, we started writing new stuff, and we've basically just taken our sweet ass time with it and not rushed anything, and made sure to make every single song stand on its own. And we're just kind of trying new things, you know. The first album was like 32 minutes. We're trying to almost double that, you know, give the fans and everybody, the press, the label, just more content to work with. You know, and it's going good. We have pretty much all of it written already. Just between touring and living in different cities, like our guitar player lives in Baltimore, we all live in Arizona. We have to kind of meet up to work, you know, so between all that, it's kind of a slow process, but you know, the patience of it is gonna make it fucking badass when it's done, and we're all really excited. Like Zion was saying, our first album, you know, was pretty outdated. It was released almost 2 years ago, and it was recorded 2 years before that. Wow. So these songs are pretty old. You know, we've done a lot of, you know, growing up, literally from being teenagers to young adults now. And, you know, we take it a little more seriously, and it's more of just a full album rather than just like songs put together, kind of. You get what I mean? So we're really, really stoked about it.
And honestly, I mean, a lot of the road work that you've done and that experience too, and you're just getting better at your instruments, is also the maturity, I guess, is going to show a lot.
Yeah, it makes a big difference. And we're playing a few of the unrecorded, unreleased ones. Nice. On this tour. just to kind of probe them to people, you know what I mean? And what's cool about that is like we're getting to see firsthand what people like and what songs they respond to, and what parts are good, what parts need to get changed, order, stuff like that. It's to the consumer, they know nothing about all this, but to the artist, it's a very big deal. The minuscule kind of tinkering, you know what I mean? Like it makes a big deal to us. And, some people, they could hear it and go in and out one year, they'll never know it. But, we do it because we love it, Musically,
can we anticipate something like that we heard on Dreams of Vision? I'm just talking about like the vibe, that grungy, sludgy kind of stuff.
Yeah, most definitely. It's a big leap, but it's the same style, And it's just because, we're young musicians and we've fully jumped into this, we're 100% in it, and every year we're going to get better. So, yeah, it's definitely just like an evolved version of the first album.
When would you like to see this record kind of officially out in the market?
I think it should be out by like spring or summer of next year, because it's pretty much written. So I'd say around February or March we hit the studio, and then, I'll give it a few months, and then it should be out.
And obviously, you guys are staying busy. You're playing shows. You're out with the familia, the Soulfly familia on this tour. What's it kind of been like getting in front of these crowds all over the country? What's the reception been like to fans who have not kind of yet seen Lody Kong?
It's been very good. Like we've been noting, we're much more refined and mature. So. On our first few tours, like, people would be kind of like, they had a few good parts, but they were a little weird and a little young and a little green, you know what I mean? But now we go up there and we're tight and mature and focused, and it's much more forceful. Whereas before we were just figuring out what we even wanted to sound like, and there's been great shows on this tour. We did, a great week on the West Coast through California all the way to Seattle. We hit Eastern Canada with Toronto and Montreal, and those were both just absolutely packed. And then New York City, Boston, fucking all the way down to Florida. We've basically been everywhere. This is the last stretch right here. We actually only have like 4 more shows. The farther west we go, the closer we get to home. And this tour actually ends in Phoenix, so it
which is the home base. People may not know that.
Yeah, that's where me and Zion are from. My parents have been there for 20 years or so. It's where we practice. It's where we write. And to end the tour there is an absolute blessing, because you get to play a badass show, pack up your gear, and go straight home. So that it's a very nice feeling. And the holidays are coming around, and once those are over, it's a new year, and we're gonna fucking get right back into it. Try and get back to the States, and maybe get to Europe at one point or another.
So after these last 4 shows, you're gonna go home and then continue to work on the record. Is that it?
Yeah, the record's like in terms of the music, it's probably 95% done. So
but you still have to record it, right?
Yeah, that's the whole thing. That's the next step, is recording it. So we're in the process of looking where to go, and then that's a short process. Once we figure that out, like he said, finish up the year, and then jump right in and get that recorded and get that out and move on to even the next record and more tours. And we've really only toured with Soulfly, so we really want to get some tours with some other bands so we can tour without our parents and shit. So,
I can imagine, I asked you that question earlier about living up to a certain musical standard. I can just imagine, socially, when you meet other musicians who kind of grew up on your dad's music and stuff, and the respect and love that they have for the Cavalera family. You guys were a part of that. So, what's it kind of been like for you? What's the reception kind of been like for you guys as young musicians? Still kind of admiring you guys because you guys come from that strong metal heritage.
It's been good for the most part. One thing we've been adamant about is not really sounding too much like Soulfly, and or Sepultura, Nail Bomb, anything our father kind of did, because if we're touching too close to that, people are gonna maybe get the impression he's writing it for us, or he's like helping us out, and while they bring us on tour and whatnot, we do all the work still. We set up the stage, we write our music, we come up with the concepts.
But you have to get you play your dad some demos, right? Get a little bit of feedback, maybe.
Not really, no. We actually keep it pretty. We're antisocial when it comes to our writing and our procedure. It comes down to sitting in our practice space, smoking some pot and fucking writing stuff. You know what I mean? And we don't really turn to outside help too much. What he said earlier is we recorded with this guy John Gray, and one thing I really like about him is he gave us the freedom to record the songs the way we wanted to. A lot of producers won't let you do that. They'll want you to sound this way, or they'll want to change your songs and this and that. But we're really strong about doing it our way and making it sound like us, because we don't want people to come up and think we're getting some fucking free ride. You know what I'm saying? And what's funny to me is even through all that, like, I digress. People still come up and go, "Man, you sound like fucking Max during Schizophrenia," and I'm like, I don't sound anything like Max from Schizophrenia, but they get that connection just from their love of all of it, you know what I mean? And it's not a bad thing. Rarely ever do we get a guy like actually talking shit or being mean or anything like that, you know what I mean? Most of the time, people come up and they're like, "Oh man, that was awesome. That reminds me of when I saw Sepul in '89, it's the people just see it, they just make that connection, whether or not it's there, you know what I mean? But we do our best to be original and not ride the coattails, you know what I mean?
I think that's very important. Definitely, as young musicians, you want to build your own foundation. So, guys, as we end out this interview, thank you so much for sharing about the band and the future of what's going to be happening with Lody Kong. Is there anything I missed? Any last words that you want to share? Anything that maybe we should have talked about that I kind of missed?
No, man, I can't think of it. Just stay tuned. If we're coming to your city, definitely come out and check us out. New band on the rise. Probably haven't heard of us yet, but check out Dreams and Visions, and check out some YouTube clips, and that's really it.
And you guys did a really kick-ass video for Dreams and Visions, I think, in the past year, right?
Yeah, we got a few videos online, so just YouTube Lody Kong, and check us out.
Igor, any last words, man?
Much the same as my brother said. We're young, and we got many years ahead of us, so we're gonna try and advance and just roll with the times and keep supplying it for everybody. As long as we can play, we'll deliver. So just find us, listen to us, come say hi.
Thank you guys very much again. I hope that we can interview again next year when your new music drops. I love what I've heard so far from the band. Remember, everyone out there, be sure to look for the latest. It's called Dreams and Visions, and keep your eyes and ears on the pulse of heavy music, because you're going to hear more about the young Cavalleras definitely on the national metal scene. You saw Lody Kong right here on Rob's MetalWorks.